For the most part, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to woodworking. I like my bandsaws, table saws, scroll saws, those types of machinery. Every once in a while, it's good to try out new technology. Today, I want to try out a laser engraver and see if there's anything to these things. I will be trying out the Ortur 3, so buckle up. This is gonna be a crazy ride. When I found this box dropped off by FedEx, I couldn't believe that it had a laser engraver inside of it. I'm not someone who likes to put together machines so that I can use them in my shop, but this is actually pretty easy. There's 4 pieces that come together to make the body, and this only requires 4 screws altogether to build it. If you check out the arms, they've been milled so that they lock in tight, like a mortise and tenon joint. This makes this incredibly rigid, and I don't see it losing its shape even if you dropped it, but don't do that. The bands that run the laser arm fits over a couple pulleys and screws in. If you're interested in watching the full build, I have that video link at the end of this video and in the description. Again, I'm completely new to this. I've never used anything like this before. So my next question was, software-wise, what was I gonna have to pay to get this thing to work? Was I gonna have to pay some kind of monthly fee? Was it gonna be one large chunk? What I found out is you can actually get it for free if you have a Windows computer. If you have a Mac computer, you can get it for about $60, which is not bad. It's a one-time fee. That's easy. That's not a hard thing to pay at all. But the really cool thing about this is that Ortur has their own app that's absolutely free that you can download right now. It has a lot of really great features in it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you real quick how to engrave something really quickly with the app. The name of the app is Laser Explorer. Once I click on it, I connect the Ortur Laser Engraver. Now I'll go down to my album on my phone and click on the image I want to burn. I'm gonna go with my dog blue. I can move it around and there. I can scale it up or down until I'm happy with it. Now I'll go down to Control and hit the Locate button. This will roughly show me an outline of the project, which helps me know where to place my stock. Now I'll go to Material and I'll be using plywood. I'll change the power level so I don't cut all the way through. And I'll put my speed at 2000. You can input how many times you want to engrave an image, which is good if you don't want to create too much heat on the surface. Now I'll hit Start and I'll send the image to the engraver. Once everything is good, I'll hit the play button and let it do its thing. What I like about this app is that it shows where the progress is, kind of like an overall performance map, something I haven't yet found in my other laser program. And there she is. I'm really looking forward to exploring this a little more, as it means I don't need to start up my computer. If you've been to my channel before, you know that I've spent years filling this garage full of stationary power tools, especially power tools that cut things. The last thing I need is another way to cut something. I've got that covered. But if I'm going to review this thing right, my review would not be complete without me showing how it cuts things. And it is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna start off with something simple. I've got 1/8" plywood here, and I'm going to cut a 3D calendar out for my wife for her birthday. I just found out that there's a huge community of people that create 3D patterns you can download and cut with a laser engraver. The 10-watt laser beam is something like 0.05 to 0.1 millimeters small and can get incredibly precise cuts. What's really cool about this machine is the ability to personalize gifts that you give people. With a free software program, I added both my kids' faces as well as mine to the front. My wife was really impressed with this. Now I won't show how I put this all together. There was a lot of gluing and a lot of different parts, but it works like this. This spins around. It's something nice that my wife will put on her desk at work, and it'll remind her of us. I've got a block of wood. This is something that could be done with a scroll saw or a bandsaw, but all the etchings that are involved in this, I could never do in any other way. I think that this is something that could really appeal to kids. You can download anything from 3D dinosaurs to 3D model cars. It's a lot of fun, and a lot of fun to find things that other people have come up with. The thickest piece of wood I was able to cut was slightly over 3/4 of an inch, and it was pine. Obviously, the denser the material, the weaker the cut. For example, I recently made this thickness gauge and I wanted to engrave and then cut it out. The engraving was perfect and much better than the printed paper that my last one had. But trying to cut 1/2" plywood left me with a charred gauge that was significantly smaller and less accurate than had I cut it with a bandsaw. And I'm good with that. Like I said earlier, I have no intention in replacing my scroll saw or my bandsaw with this engraving machine. But engraving, look at the difference between the printed one and the engraved gauge. It's so much better. Another little project I created was this nut and bolt identifier. engraved on 1/2" Baltic birch. I made this in SketchUp, which is another free program, and uploaded it to Lightburn, which etched this in. While the paper one will work, there's something authentic about this that just feels right in my shop. In the past, I've used a lot of steel rulers epoxy to the surface of my jigs. I could see this as being a cheaper alternative. Oh, and if you're interested in making this nut bolt identifier, I have that on my second channel. This machine will also etch steel and stainless steel. A couple years ago, I made this lava chisel, but have never been able to add a size to it or a logo. I'll first need to add a little soot to the metal, which helps to trap the laser. Keep in mind that this is 1/4" O2 steel. It's not a mild steel, but we'll see what happens. This is pretty cool. I can see using something like this in the future. Now I thought it would be interesting to engrave leather. You're seeing my first attempt as I make my logo. My biggest surprise was that it actually cut all the way through the 1/4" leather. Other videos have talked about how difficult it is to cut, and this did it pretty easily. There was a little burning, which means the next time I'll make more passes at a higher speed. Now I cut a little too deep in the leather, and it will need to be cleaned up, but this is actually very impressive to me. If we're cutting acrylic, I found that clear plastic doesn't do very well, but that's not really a problem, as it seems like all engraving machines have that same kind of problem. But I was easily able to cut 1/4" black acrylic without any problems. I know I'm new to this whole laser engraving scene, but I think that if you like to sell cutting boards especially, there's a whole new dimension that you can add to your cutting boards. I added a conversion table on this board, which is something that's always handy in the kitchen. I think you could add recipes to the top of cutting boards, family photos, and give them away as gifts. I think that that's something that people would really like. I know that my mom was really impressed by this cutting board. As far as safety goes, a lot of thought went into this. There's a big red button shut off that stops the project, and to keep your kids from playing with this, it comes with a pair of keys to prevent it from being started. Oh, and I got a pair of safety glasses. I'm gonna end this video with my favorite use for this so far, and that is aluminum casting. Years ago, I made this belt buckle by carving my logo into a block of wood. To carve the logo, it took me over 6 hours, and mistakes were made. My son wanted a Batman belt buckle, so we made one. First, my son and I framed up a piece of a 1/2" pine and set the focus. I let it cut 3/16 of an inch deep, which I found is a great casting depth. Afterwards, we let the machine cut the outside perimeter to free it. It cleaned up easily with a little steel wool. Next, we pressed the carved wood into a shallow box full of kinetic sand. We started up the furnace and melted some aluminum pop cans down. You'd be surprised how many it takes to get a nice belt buckle. Afterwards, we poured it into the mold. My son cleaned it up before we attached it to a belt. It really was a fun project, and I know that every time that my son picks up that belt in the future, he'll remember the day that we worked on it. Overall, I think this is a fantastic machine. I really don't have any problems. I had a few problems starting it up, which is going to be on the video that will show how to build it. If you're looking to buy something like this so that you don't have to have a bandsaw or a table saw or scroll saw, this isn't the machine for you. If you like carving things out by hand, again, this isn't going to be the product for you, but for what it does, it's been something that I think could really revolutionize my shop. If you're interested in this, I have an affiliate link below. There are some discounts. You'll just click on the link and go to it. As always, I want to thank my patrons for their support. It helps with the website and allows me to do a lot of the things that I do. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon, sign up below. I want to publicly thank Michelle B., Keith Current, William L McNally, Jerry Adams, Tommy Q-Art, Zach Finch, Rich Lightfoot. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, and I thank you so much for being a part of my shop. Please leave a comment below. Come find me on Instagram at MakeThingsWithRob, and remember to keep making things.